Yes, a lot of women misinterpreted that that they should do that, and absolutely not. But I'm glad that it was misinterpreted because it did prompt all those great safety questions that we can cover now.
Did you push record?
Thanks so much for joining us on Second Act TV. Today I want to welcome back, well, again, one of our staples here on Second Act, or getting to be, divorce and family law attorney, Jonathan Noble. Jonathan, thanks for staying over for another segment.
My pleasure, Silka. Thanks for having me.
We had a incredible conversation apparently on October 12th that prompted a whole bunch of comments that themed in the direction, well, one was expectations on a first date. That's the video we'll link to that we just finished. But the other theme was, well, the safety concerns, especially when dating online. And yes, that is such a huge topic that we really wanted to spend a whole segment on that, especially through the lens of a divorce attorney and somebody who deals with the legal aspects of all this. So, Jonathan, what do we want to talk about? What do we need to highlight here?
Yeah, first, I'll thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We got a lot of great comments on that video. I am a divorce and family law attorney, but I'll just preface our conversation. It's not legal advice, but I was out there dating up until mid 2019, and when I met Jennifer. So I've only dated one woman since then. In the October 12th video, I talked about going to visit somebody on a first date, first meetup, sight unseen. I had been invited to people's place.
Yes, a lot of women misinterpreted that they should do that, and absolutely not. But I'm glad that it was misinterpreted because it did prompt all those great safety questions that we can cover now.
Right. So I would invite you to, again, leave a comment because we're learning so much from the comments. And I would respectfully ask that if you do leave a comment, we try to read all of them. I respond, Silka responds. Tell us M or F, whatever your gender is, and your approximate age. We're not looking for your exact age, but so we have a point of reference. If you could just say M, F, M, 57 or whatever, we'll know it's a male 57. So with that said, we want to talk a little bit about safety. So I'm going to start off with one of the comments where a woman wrote, I always do a background check to make sure a friend knows exactly where I'm going and who I'm going to meet. Bingo. That is a great idea. I would not go meet up anybody if I were a woman for the first time and not leave behind where you're going to be. And I could tell you the first time I went to visit Jennifer, she lives on the beach, and I was like, well, she has a sailboat. She could stick a knife in me and push me overboard and nobody would ever find me. So what did I do? I told at least 5 people where I was going, and I let one person pin my location on their phone. For that reason, I didn't know her well enough. I didn't want to put myself in a situation of potential danger. So I would highly recommend that too. If you're being picked up or you're meeting somewhere and you trust him enough to get into his car, tell somebody, let them pin your location on their phone. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Well, I guess there's two aspects really to the safety. One is, when you're actually meeting them on a date, where do you meet? How do you meet? Who do you tell? Just like you just said. The other is even before then and this is where a lot of people are so hesitant to go online. And, there's lots of reasons why you should or shouldn't date. Some people love it. Some people hate online dating. That's a whole other discussion. But being afraid of scammers shouldn't be a deterrent to keep you away. It's just, it's something that you just need to be aware of. What is a scam? What isn't a scam? It's really actually pretty easy to detect. And we want to go into some more detail.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody starts asking you for money, that is like a neon sign blinking. If they are, say they're a physician working out of the country and they can't get back, or they're on an oil rig or in the military, radar should be going up right there. I only had one person that I could remember try to scam me. It's a woman that said that her car broke down and she was trying to get back home and she only needed $600. I was like, this is the biggest scam in the world. So have your wits about you. The issue is also over $200 million was lost to scammers in online dating last year. $200 million. And I think Sukal will link to that article from the Federal Trade Commission. So be careful. People are out there doing this, and you don't want to be a victim. All right. Even, they target lonely people on dating sites. Be aware. All right. So financial assistance, someone that disappears suddenly from the site and reappears as someone else. Now, I didn't experience that, but I didn't really look for it either. But be aware. I mean, who's doing this? There's people trying to get money and get your sympathy. Now, a different type of scam is, in my experience and in other people in the comments experience, there's a lot of married people on these sites. I'm a divorce lawyer, so I would always ask up front, what's your marital status? Well, I'm divorced. Really? What's your docket number? Like, I'll look it up on the attorney portal. I just got to make sure that divorce decree is on that. For me, other people would date people who are separated or still living separate and apart under the same roof. But there's a lot of married people. And if someone's not giving you straight answers, or you get a whiff of, I really can't call or talk to this person until like they reach out to me, or there's something not right, trust your gut. Trust your gut.
No, I agree. And I guess with the people, if they're not available, can you reach them? And, are there weekend, do you see each other on the weekend? Is there something strange going on there? That I never thought about checking to see if somebody was not married, but I guess that happens more often than not. I never had it develop to where I questioned it.
Right. As a divorce lawyer, I could tell you that people live in a sexless state, a sexless marriage, sometimes for years,
Hmm.
6, 7, 8 years. And they're human and they want to be hugged and they want that connection. But for one reason or another, nobody's filed yet. And they're out there because it's easy to swipe or go on a dating site. But if that's important to you, you got to be asking these questions and see what kind of response you get. If you think that your guy is, as some of the people in the comments said, in an entanglement, you ought to know that, which leads me to another point that I want to make that's slightly off topic. Someone in the comments on October 12th left a brilliant idea that your question should be framed: does anyone else think that they're in a relationship with you? Okay. Because I framed it that I would be asked, is anyone else in the picture? And a couple women wrote, no. What you ought to ask is, does anyone else think they're in a relationship with you? Which is a really good way to phrase what you're asking.
Great question.
So thank you, whoever wrote that in October 12th. It was well received and a great idea. Somebody that's overly complimentary to you and romantic right away. I found the love of my life, in you. And, somebody's trying to like bowl you over right away. That's probably a bad sign. Okay. Let it grow organically. And you know what that feels like.
Well, I think well, we did another video, John. I don't know if it was with you or with, might have been with Dr. Salyer. The love bombing, that's a sign of potentially of narcissism.
Yeah. That love bombing state where they mirror you and they love everything about you and what, that's get the radar up there. And, that's a good signal. Now they could be kind to you and things can grow, but if it's like over the top,
Hmm.
or they're buying you big gifts or anything like that, that's a red flag. You don't want that. And you want to be tuned into it. But some of the other points that were made in these articles that you may link to: meet in a public place. Like, if you have any doubt, that's common sense. You're going to meet in a public place. Now, if somebody has no social media, won't tell you where anything else about them, if you're a woman, I don't know. You better really scrutinize this situation carefully because safety is paramount, right? So, because without that, none of this matters.
Yeah, there was interest. There was a comment that I think it was a woman that said, because you said, give if to make somebody comfortable, give them your full name, give them their social media footprint, and what you actually meant for the guy to do that, not necessarily for the woman, but
Right.
our social media footprint is out there to be checked out, so it is a really good way to find out if
Right.
somebody's legit or not.
Yeah. Every time I was asked for it, I gave it without hesitation because you want to treat somebody like you would want your sister treated, and you wouldn't want someone to be secretive about that. So a couple people asked me for my social media information. I was happy to give it to them. I think at that time, back in 2018, 19, Bumble had like you could link to your Instagram. I did that. Um, and it like shows your interests and it shows that you are who you say you are. Yeah, can people scam that too? Of course they can, but it's just another data point that you are who you say you are. So I would say to the guys, if you're struggling, be open because they're nervous on the other side of the date and give her every reason to feel more comfortable with that. There was one interesting uh, tip that one of the articles had that said use different photos for your dating profile. Yeah, and it goes on, it's easy to do a reverse image search on Google. If your dating profile has a photo that also shows up on your Instagram or Facebook account, it will be easier for someone to find you on social media. All right, you got to balance between your safety, which is paramount, and letting the other person know that you're not a scammer. So that's the pain point here. That's like the crux of the issue. You're not a scammer, and you are who you say you are. So if anybody has ideas on how they operate, let us know. Maybe the whole community could benefit.
Yeah, yeah. One of the reasons that I really wanted to do the segment and focus on safety in more detail, perhaps than we had before, is because and I came across in the comments too, and with people I've met, I know with people you've met, they're just people are paranoid about dating or the whole scammer situation. And yes, it is something to certainly be aware of, but it shouldn't keep you from living your life and utilizing the tools that we now have.
Right, right. I mean, you can't get in your own way. Very quick story. I met a woman for coffee. It lasted about 90 minutes and it was great. It went great. And she told me during the conversation that her son-in-law is a criminal defense attorney and he knows of me and he would love to meet me. He's heard great things about my work. So I called her up a couple days later and I said, why don't you come over with your son-in-law and your daughter, and you could bring two other people with you if you want, and we'll barbecue, and we could, I could meet your son-in-law, and he could ask me whatever he wants. And she said, I'll let you know. She called me back and said, I'm not comfortable coming to your house yet. And I said, but wait a second, you're bringing your son-in-law, who's a criminal defense lawyer, who's knows of me and wants to meet me, and your daughter. And I said, two other people, I'll buy a ton of grass-fed beef. We'll have a great time. And she said, no, I don't want to do it. I want you to take me out for Chinese food. Soft next. Like she got in her own way. And I thought to myself, yikes, that's why she's struggling.
Well, and again, the point is that don't get in your own way, don't self-sabotage, while be very, very aware of what scamming behavior looks like. And to me, and we're starting to come to the end, so I want to start thinking about wrapping this up if we missed anything. But to me, the most important point is online, if you're online, if this, you can't Zoom with this person, that's another thing. If for some reason they claim that that you can't meet in person because they're, I don't know, they're out of the country, if they won't jump on a Zoom call even to verify that that you can actually talk, done. And if
Yeah,
the
I agree.
conversation leads towards any sort of financial assistance, just done, done.
Right. I want to close in this way. We talk about covert narcissism, and I want to bring this up and hammer this home because a lot of people fall victim to covert narcissists, and they are financially ruined. Um, they the covert narcissist will totally drain this person's bank account and just discard them. So, it's great to be generous, but you got to be very careful, especially in our demographic. You might have assets. Be careful of the person who's the victim or the one that's asking you to buy their home or their apartment, or make a big payment on their debt while you're dating them for a short period of time. You can't imagine how many stories are out there, true stories where people get sucked in and by this covert narc and then get discarded. So I just wanted to mention that.
Well, and people always appreciate it when you do because, yeah, the covert narcissism period, a huge, huge, huge topic that we've covered and will continue to cover and make you aware of the symptoms. So, Jonathan, thank you. I'm looking forward to the comments that we're going to get on this video and hope, and suggestions, questions, something we can follow up on. We'll link to our other videos so you can watch them. Great information. Apparently, lots of controversial stuff, but very interesting and good teaching moments. And we'll see you soon again on Second Act TV.
Thank you, Silka. Have a great night. Thank you.
If you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right over here. Just click on through to YouTube, and when you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too, and we'll notify you every time we launch a new video. See you next time.